your sign. Hold it for me while I take a nap.
Your destination is on the left.
A little bit of a different situation here. I can't get back to where this truck is with my trailer, so I have to dump the trailer, go pull the truck out. This is it. The guy said it ran and drove when parked. Let's see. He said the cab was in good shape. I guess that's a matter of opinion. Frame looks alright. Let's just get this thing out of here. Mess up the paint. Got it all loaded up, and I made what may be the most exciting discovery about this whole truck. This is cool. All chained down. If I don't find a bathroom in the next 5 minutes, something's gonna happen. I only brought one battery to run the winch, and I was concerned that that thing was gonna die. I brought the jump pack and forgot about it. What a forward thinker I have become. On a completely unrelated note, I don't need to go to the bathroom anymore, so we're going straight home. So So the guy I just bought this truck from said that he drove this thing home a few years ago, planned on restoring it, and then life got in the way, as it does to many of us, and it got parked. So I'm gonna pick up the pieces where he left off. Hopefully I don't miss my turn, and by the end of this, we have a cool, old, running, driving Bugatti wagon. I just saw an Amish kid riding a bicycle with no hands. Pretty sure he's going straight to hell for that. He had hands, he just wasn't using them on the bicycle. That's the kind of stuff you'd expect from the heathens. Speaking of airplanes, you know what this thing needs? A set of wings. Now to flip my tow mirrors out, which I hate, because it reminds me of a man driving a Subaru with a canoe on top, drinking out of a straw. This is one of my favorite places to stop when I come up to the North Country. Grab some food. Had a pretty good lunch, back on the road. I'll see you guys back at the shop. Wow, made it all the way home. Why did I buy this? Oh, right, because it's awesome. Almost every single day I'm faced with challenges that are overwhelming and terrifying. But one of the things I've learned in life is that it is important to do hard things. So I made these hoodies to remind each and every one of us that we can do hard things. You can get one down below the video. It's weird, it's in neutral, but the drive shaft is rolling. Almost like the clutch is stuck, I don't know. The guy was all too eager to get rid of it. Maybe it's a massive pile of government. Well, this is the slowest, safest, most controlled unloading I've ever experienced. Maybe I'll just unhook it and see what happens. The truck would immediately roll off the trailer at full speed and somehow run over 3 puppies. I don't even have 3 puppies. Like $200 tripod. I can't wait for the camera to fall off that. Perfecting Schlag. Let's check this thing out. What have I done? So the outside of the cab looks like it's in okay shape. The inside, look at that, just the right amount of spray foam. I saw a bunch over in that fender well, so I'm hoping that these people, oh yeah, there's spray foam everywhere. Please stop using spray foam. There's no good reason to use it, literally none. Either you're trying to sell something deceitfully and scam the public into thinking that it looks nicer than it is, or you're trying to make something look nice that's going to last for 15 minutes. It is not an acceptable way to repair vehicle bodies. Please stop doing it. Anyway, looks like somebody started to fiddle with it. The guy said the body was in decent shape, but no. The outside is okay. How do you open the hood on this thing? Not in here. And honestly, it doesn't look like any of the fenders and stuff were repaired. Based on what I've seen thus far, they would have been fixed with spray foam and JB Weld. So somewhere under here is a thing. Oh well, show's over. Can't get into the hood. Hold please. Oh yeah. Cigarettes, sandpaper, and sandable primer. You know the body work on this is just the best. Oh, it's a Duralast. At least it's not Snap-on. On the bright side, I got a bunch of free sandpaper. I can't get into the hood, but free sandpaper. Ow! Sure would like to get in there to see if I have an engine. This is what happens when you use spray foam on everything. Ha ha! What do we have in here? How cute. Nice overflow jug. I like to see zip ties. Looks like a straight 6 gas jobby. Nice, nice. Let's check the oil. This is the first time I've seen this engine, so up to full, not over full. Let's see if it rotates, because oh yeah, nice. That's cool. Not locked up. Oh, it's up to full. Wow. Is this the gas tank? Wow, that's old. That smells ripe. There's also a tank on this side. But I'm wondering if this is a hydraulic tank. Nope, that's gas. Man, somehow that smells better and worse at the same time. And look at how thick this steel plate is. It's probably close to half. That might be 3/8. And looks like there's a wood deck underneath of it. Wow. If you remember when I first loaded this up in the truck, I said I was excited about something. Let me show you. All of that right there. More importantly, that second drive shaft coming off the transmission. That is a PTO, which stands for power takeoff. That's used to power usually a hydraulic pump to run something like a dump bed, or in my case, a tow truck body. Now, I've wanted a tow truck for a long time, but they're very expensive. And sometimes you can find the bodies for real cheap because they got rid of the truck. And this would be a sick tow truck. Who's ready for their level 3 DOT inspection? Safety third. Let's clean the hantavirus out of this cab. Free brake fluid. Oh wow. Instead of fixing the floor, they just spray foamed it. This is what happens when you spray foam metal, it just rots faster. I found one of these guys, which probably goes, I don't know where this goes. And I found the door handle. Look at how nice that works. One sale on seats. Ow! Yeah. Thinking about it here, I've been vacuuming this truck out for a few minutes and I've had some time to stop and think about what I've done. I don't mean to dog on the guy who did all this work, because I'm sure someone will go after me and some of my restorations and say or think the same thing. I guess what I really hope is that anytime you do something, you do it to the best of your ability. And I think if we all did that and genuinely took pride in the work that we do, I guess I would say that's a good thing. What I really don't like to see is people cutting corners to make something look nice, to try to deceive other people just to make a couple of dollars. A couple of years ago, I went to look at a pickup truck that was for sale at a dealership. The pictures on Marketplace were pretty nice. The thing looks decent. And I went up there and looked at it. I was crawling around underneath it, and I found 2 huge holes in the rear of the frame. It's a real common thing on the Silverados. And I went in and I told the owner about it, thinking, okay, he's gonna immediately pull that down and not sell it, or sell it as had a rotten frame. And he said something to the effect of, oh yeah, I guess it is what it is. We didn't look at it. And I watched that post stay the same for a couple of weeks after that, and I assume he sold it to somebody and probably didn't disclose that, and that is shameful. If I remember right, they were asking somewhere around $12,000 for that truck. Somebody paid about 12 grand for that truck if they bought it, and probably got 1 year out of it. What do you think about it, huh? Get in the truck. What do you think about the new ride? What do you think about the new ride, buddy? Can you shake? Can you shake? No. Good boy, go. What a good dog. Where's your brother? Can you say hi to everybody? Yes. I disconnected the line coming from whichever tank they're hooked to going into the fuel pump, because I don't want to suck that nasty stuff, and I want to verify that the fuel pump works. Uh-oh. Wow. I don't think there's supposed to be dust in there. I just found this tag on the ground. It says signature stat burnout proof, pilot failure indicates signal failure opposite lever position. So we got front rear pilot signals, signal stat Brooklyn, New York, USA. What is this? You ever seen one of these before? I assume it's something for like on the dash. That fuel bowl is nice and cleaned up. Should be ready for fuel. Get this Die Easy battery out of here because I guarantee you it's dead. How cool, both of the battery cables are red. I'm sure these are gonna need to be cleaned up, but let's just try it. No arky sparky, doesn't immediately run away. I don't think I'd set gasoline up next to your battery charger. That's a bold move. Right, buddy? Oh, wait. Ow! For this test, I want it disconnected from the carb. I'm testing to see if the fuel pump works. Oh yeah, you gotta turn the jump pack on in this situation. I could get so much more done if I wasn't dumb. The jump pack is already furious. We don't have any fuel flow. People comment all the time about the I don't have any friends button. The whole purpose of this is so that I can hook this up to the starter and it essentially acts as a key. That way I can be in the engine bay and see what's going on whilst also turning it over. It replaces not having a second person to do this. Perfect. Thank you. Fuel pump's working good. I don't have to scare this one into doing its job. That glass bowl is leaking. That's pretty common. I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to leak, but it is, so I'll have to address that. I'm hooked back up to the carbonator. Full choke. Let's see what happens. Make sure this key might have to be on to get spark. Let's try that. You can also check in here to see if the pumper's working. And I don't see that it is. We may have to pull that carburetor off. We have no spark. The gapping on that looks good. I'll clean up those points. And then the next thing I'll do is check and see if there's power to the coil. So to check to see if you have power to the coil, all you need is the test light, hook it up to ground on the one end, and then this end should have power. And we have power. I see in the comments a lot, like, where did you learn how to do this stuff? That right there, I learned, excuse me. That right there, I learned from watching No Nonsense Know-How. I believe when I crank this, that should pulse a light. It's not. Now I have it hooked to the coil wire coming out of the top of the coil. I don't see spark there either, so I think we still have a problem inside the distributor cap. So to test a ignition coil, you're gonna be testing the inner and the outer windings in this. You need a multimeter. You're gonna set it at 200 ohms resistance, which on mine is the bottom setting. I am then gonna put my positive lead on the positive side of the coil and my negative lead on the negative side of the coil, and it's not showing anything at all. The correct spec for that test should be between 0.5 and 2 ohms on 200. Now I'll test the secondary windings. These are gonna be tested at 20,000 ohms resistance, and the spec should be between 6 and 20,000. For this test, we're testing ohms resistance between the positive and the output. It would help if I turned it to 20,000 ohms. And there we have 9.63, so that is within spec. So that coil is bad. Give it to me. I know what you're thinking. Ah, he's gonna put a new coil on it. I'm gonna do something. Let's test this coil. Also, since this coil is known bad, I am just gonna throw it in the garbage. Yep, this coil is good. For anybody that's watched this channel for a long time, several years ago, I pulled a 10-wheeler dump truck with a big 549 gas engine in it, and that all went to Hades in a handbasket, but this coil came out of that truck. Porting has never let me down. Let's try it again. So I put this coil in, and I don't have any spark. But I'm also testing, and I have a very weak 12 volts there. So that's not right. Back to my roots we go. Back in college, they used to call me old jumper wires. I'm just kidding, I didn't go to college. Will you please be quiet? Gosh. Oh, it would help if I hooked things back up. Still no Arky Sparky. What is going on? We have a very weak 12 volts there. Something ain't right. I'm gonna go throw a brand new coil in this thing.
Job to do it just like we had a job to do, and our job was to. So you guys are talking about.
Back from the wallet draining store. Brand new coil. Not getting spark there. I wonder if having that jump pack is not enough to provide 12 volts to that coil. With the battery hooked up, I want to see if I'm getting a stronger 12 volts to the positive post. Man, it's still getting really weak. All there. Yeah, see that? I think this is reducing it to maybe like 6 volts or something. With that resistor thing in there, it's probably reducing this to 6 volts, and I may have purchased a 12 volt coil. I am going to see if I can just jump 12 volts to it, if it will do the thing that I need it to do, which is spark. Take one electrode and you hook it up here. Take the other one and you hook it here. Let's see if we get spark in the plug. You can't have your wiring in the fan belt. Okay, that's it. We have spark there. Perfect. So we're just going to be putting a jumper wire there. There's actually 12 volts coming in here, and then this is a resistor, and it drops it to 6. I don't know why that's warm. Hold, please. Give this another whirl here. fuel leak down here. See that wet spot, but this line did crack. Let me fix that. This is the fuel line stuff here. What threads into the pump is a pipe fitting, and I'd really like to just go pipe right to rubber hose. So let me come in here to my stash. What do I have? Okay, new fuel line is installed, so we should be all set all the way up to the carburetor. You know, the 11th time is the charm, and that's how it goes on these old restoration. Whoa! Okay, I just checked. We don't have any spark again. And that coil is smoking hot. Back in college, they used to call me old jumper wires, because that's a 6-volt coil and I had 12 volts to it. Man, I hope I didn't ruin that. Hold on a second. All right, I put the coil back the way that it should be with the 6 volts. I'm hoping that I didn't fry it with my little overcurrent incident. I don't have high hopes because that coil's still like 1,000 degrees. What? I feel like we got a connectivity issue somewhere because it did try. Let me get some starting fluid. Starting fluid's really just to see if there's spark. Yeah, there's not spark there. And now I'm getting light that's the same on both sides. Let me change this thing. Let's give this thing a whirl again. The same thing, I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to have power on both sides, right? Maybe I fried the coil. I think I'm gonna go back to the wallet draining store and spend another $17 on a coil. Watch this. That's what I would expect to see. I'm wondering if there was just some corrosion somewhere. Let's try this again. No! Oh, I'm out of gas. But that's not all we're here to do. We have to take this thing for a drive, and I got a little excited and I texted Jeremy over at Forestate and I said, Jeremy, you know what this thing needs? So in typical Jeremy fashion, he is sending me exactly everything that I need to make this old heifer look amazing. I also want to take it for a spin down the road, and to do that we got to get a much more permanent fuel setup. Brakes are also pretty nice to have. You don't ever want to go cutting U-bolts on the U-bolts if you can help it. They're usually under a bunch of tension, and when you go through it with a torch, man, they'll pop. It usually makes you want to change your underwear immediately. There's one right under this fuel tank. It was nice knowing you. I think there's a couple bolts down in this corner that have to leave. I'm just gonna pull this tank off. There's a bunch of bolts hidden behind there. Give it up. Bolt here, this goes with the flatbed, I guess. Perfecting Schlug. Yeah, that was a heavy sucker. Somebody didn't ever want that flatbed to go away. And this frame is actually pretty clean. I gotta figure out what to do with this PTO. I don't understand everything about it. Oh, my exhaust. No. Oh no! My exhaust broke. Oh, I gotta do a whole bunch more work. The guy told me this was gonna be an easy one. Oh gosh. I think this was like an old water pump or something. I wonder what they pumped with it. The old hot wrench. Need to come out. I'm a reasonable man with a unique set of skills, or whatever Elon Musk said. So this smoldering hunk of iron is a single stage master. What that means is that there's one reservoir, and if you blow your brake line, you're screwed. There's almost no chance of saving this master cylinder. Jeez. You've left me no choice but to try to rebuild this thing. All right, I give up. Golly. So I put an order in at Forestate, and they sent out several big boxes of shiny parts. For any of you guys that have been here for any length of time, you know I've worked with Forestate for a long time. Great, great people. And if you want some awesome chrome, they have a mobile app, Forestate Trucks. You download it on your phone, makes it super easy to order. You can use my code, Project10 at checkout for 10% off your entire order. Sick. Look at that. Look at how sick that is. That's gonna look freaking awesome. I'm just going through and unboxing the stuff from Forestate Trucks, and as usual, those guys send you everything you need to do the job. One of my biggest pet peeves is when you order something and you get it in, and then you need the bolts or a clip. That drives me nuts. When you buy something, it should come with everything you need. And in my experience, Forestate Trucks does a great job making sure that when the box shows up at your house, You have everything you need. When it comes to designing exhausts, there's none better than Mr. In-N-Out. So I'm gonna sit on my keister and wait for his hairy carcass to show up. I got some swelling that'll support you. All right, I've been working on mocking the exhaust up all morning, and I have it. And the elbow's not oriented right with the stack, but I'm starting to love this. Like, imagine this cab lowered a little bit on a modern chassis with a diesel. Ooh! Nice.
Besides you can see it.
109.5. Lady at the DMV said that I had.
Yeah, after she helped you cheat on the test. I remember this story.
There she be, boys. Wow. Honestly, that looks amazing. Jim, could you blow me?
What the heck are you doing?
Completely unrelated to this video, my torch cart broke. The handle broke off, and it doesn't actually fit this bigger bottle. It's kind of a janky torch cart. My dad bought that torch cart at an auction many, many years ago, and I don't know exactly what he paid for it. It was pretty much against his religion to pay more than $20 for anything. They used to call him Spare No Expense Vern. He actually had, I don't remember what exactly happened, but I remember he was cutting out back, and I came around the corner, and there was like 20 foot of flames coming out of the acetylene bottle. I don't know if like a hose ripped or something. And the local yokels came and blasted it out with sea foam. Which reminds me, here's my dad joke of the week. How do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it. There goes my stupid generator.
I had too much red dye in my gas tank and it died.
So give me one more chance. Perfecting Schlug. Man, that looks sick. Four State absolutely knocked that out of the park with this. I basically just told them the look I was going for, and that's what they sent me. Man, it looks good. Guys, don't forget to use my code at checkout, Project10. You can get 10% off your entire order. Unless, of course, you hate saving money. It's pouring down rain, but you probably can't see it. I bought that excavator a couple years ago and sent it down the road. It's just a little bit too small for what I need. I'm gonna get a bigger one at some point. So it was a great machine. I got a lot of use out of that thing. And those kids said that it was their first piece of equipment, which is awesome. I love to see that. A couple of young guys out hustling. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this fuel bowl was leaking on top of the fuel pump. So I just put a slight glaze of the right stuff on it, and that'll seal it up just fine. And this stuff is returned to service immediately, so exactly what I'm gonna do. Hold, please. Obviously, this floor needs a new one. I don't want to sit on nothing and I want to go drive it. I bet there's a really good reason they stopped using this tank, and I'm guessing I'm gonna find out why. Whew, man, that smells like the government. The coolant is up to not empty anymore. Are we pumping? Yeah, hey, we're even pumping fuel up. How nice is that? I don't remember which way is choked. We are getting good oil pressure too. Gonna let this thing warm up for just a couple minutes. Oh, I can't imagine why. It's always a good idea to mess with stuff you have no idea what it does. Boy, that sounds scratchy. Worn out clutch, but that's not going to stop me. Okay, couple of things we're gonna need to fix. Well, I guess that about wraps this one up. It's a nice truck and it's probably for sale for $8,500. It could be yours because, you know, it's a vintage classic barn find, ran when parked. Vintage. It's got that pre-used feeling. This truck is gonna need quite a bit more work, but it is cool and I like it. So maybe I'll do another video. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the flippity flop.